Hello. So on this very brief thing, well, maybe not very brief. Anyway, I know the last one I had a weird sort of thing about how you know understanding that nobody cares can be liberating. I'm taking a video, babe. I love you. I just telling my wife. I just I think that's an important video. I do legitimately think that's an important video for a lot of people, especially young people, to see. The fact that nobody cares about you personally can be really liberating. But my channel is just my channel. It's just the front page of an older millennial on the internet, effectively. Really, really the very youngest of Gen X. That millennials are very much like Gen X. The split is really a trick of marketing. Moving on. So one thing that's become just so popular, especially since the pandemic, is video games, which are a huge passion of mine. So much so that back in 2023, I went and built seeing what was going to happen with AI. I said, you know what? I'm building a tits out computer is what I'll call it. Like just maxed as I can. 32-inch Q dot. I don't like OLEDs. I think OLEDs suck. I do. I think they suck. I think they're going to burn out your eyes and they completely screw up what your color palette actually looks like. So if you have to do anything design-wise on an OLED, good luck! Anyway. So, obviously, as an older person, I am a part of or consume, rather, not am a part, but consume vast portions of the PC gaming media ecosystem. And right now, and has been for some years, the ecosystem is on fire about what AI is doing to prices of RAM, prices of GPU, everything compute. And everyone's blaming people like Sam Altman and everything else. And that's a bit incorrect. You guys are really analyzing the wrong thing here. Specifically Gamers Nexus. Gamers Nexus seems to have, and many tubers seem to have this idea that private companies have the balance sheets to be able to buy 30%, 40% of DRAM, of global DRAM supply. So as somebody that does investing, as somebody that watches the market, as somebody that watches money, how money works, who has a lot of it, where does it go, why does it go there, I have to impress upon gamers, OpenAI is not the boogeyman. I'm not saying that you should be happy about the situation. I just want to bring some clarity to what's actually happening. Private companies do not have the balance sheet to buy 30% of global supply of any commodity. There is only one institution that is capable of doing that. That is the government. AI build-out is a national defense initiative in G7 economies. That means that the government is paying OpenAI. The government is paying SK Hynix, Micron, NVIDIA, Intel, and AMD. The government is the biggest buyer and applies the most upward pressure on prices for these components. Private companies can't buy this amount of shit. A private company can't buy 30 to 40% of any given global commodity without sovereign hypothecation and backing. Hypothecation means taking on debt. It's not fiscally possible. You cannot buy what does not exist yet unless you're the government, pretty much, or you create a contract for it, which is exactly what the government does. So the government locks up these hyperscaler compute centers through contract. You're not using. You really think all of this data is going for like just Chat GPT fucking queries? Really, like we're working through trillions of watts of power a day, because grandma is suddenly using AI to help make more cookies. No, that's facially completely preposterous. This is a national defense initiative across the G7. So that's United States, China, Germany, France, places like that. I can't remember the whole fucking G7 at this moment in time. Sue me. But that's what's driving DRAM prices up. That's what's driving GPU prices. That's also what's throttling consumer compute. You don't have the money to compete. NVIDIA didn't give up gamers magically because, people weren't willing to shell out $2,000 for a GPU. People totally were, dude. People totally were and still are. Some people are willing to shell out $4,000. Well, why are you having to shell out $4,000 for a 4090? Because the chips on that board have already been spoken for by the highest bidder. The people that literally print the money, the governments, yeah, they say, I need that DDR8. I need that DDR7. Why? There's a national defense initiative right now on par, or perhaps even exceeding the resources pulled in by the fucking Manhattan Project. That's what's happening to your graphics cards. That's what's happening to your DRAM. That's what's happening to your NAND solid state. It's a much simpler thing than greed. It's national defense. And like not even greed works this far. You're just not understanding the absolute power, absolute financial power of sovereign nations. They need more money, they print it. We deal with the inflation. It's how it is. So that's this little quick aside. Also, if you're praying for rain in terms of cheap compute, stop. If you want good compute, if you want like a really high-end rig, you're going to have to save harder, or you're just going to have to throw more money down. Don't think that in a year or 2 years, this is going to go away. We're in a life or death struggle with adversaries and AI. I don't want to get too much more specific than that because I feel that it's not appropriate in a public forum. You can do research and draw your own conclusions as to what you use this much compute power for. But I'm not going to necessarily really go into detail. Somebody else wants to do that, that's fine. I'm just telling all of my fellow gamers, stop praying for rain on cheap compute. It's not happening, unfortunately. We grew up in an era of cheap chips. It was going to end. Will it come back? Yes. But it's going to take some time. And the very technology that everybody's complaining about right now is going to be the technology that brings back cheap compute. It's just going to take a long time. Anyway, that's all I really have. It's my one shower thought for the day. Signing off.